Black supremacy is Nattyisisyah. So today, basically, I'm gonna talk about some essential oils because I have like a very vast background in essential oils, but I normally don't talk about it because I usually have so many other things to do. And to me, these stuff, it's like when you're really good at something or when you know something, sometimes you really kind of take it for granted a little bit, or you just, you don't see the value in meditating on it too much. But I'm gonna just give a little rundown on peppermint. It's not gonna be too deep. This is just something I'm gonna kind of do off the top of my head, so I don't even know how long this video is gonna be. But mainly the reason why I wanted to talk about peppermint is because it's good for what you would call, I'm trying to think of the word, but basically for warding off insects, right? Peppermint is something that you want to basically have on you if you want to live out in nature like this. Now, you don't necessarily have to have peppermint. There are things even out in nature that will help you, but peppermint is one of those things that insects, they don't like. Ticks don't like it, lice don't like it, ants don't like it, spiders don't like it. A lot of these little insects, mosquitoes don't like it, right? So basically, get you some peppermint. Now, one thing too is like a lot of people, they complain, that they're getting bit by mosquitoes. And it's like when I was growing up and when I went to Jamaica, and I was getting bit by mosquitoes, I don't really remember getting bit, but people used to make these remarks, I guess, referring to me getting bit. I was very young, so one of the reasons why they were telling me that I was getting bit is because my blood was sweet. Now, I noticed too, a lot of times in America, it's like there's nothing bitter. You can't just go into the store and get something bitter to eat. But in Jamaica, they drink a lot of bitters. They drink a lot of Cersei. They drink a lot of they got busy. I don't necessarily remember if it's really bitter, but Jamaica, they like to drink a lot of bitters, right? Weekly. Like my mother, she had to drink Cersei bi-weekly. You had to every what was it, Saturday or Sunday, had to take your bitters, right? And the bitters helps to make your blood less sweet, right? So if you're getting bit a lot by mosquitoes, which I can say I've been definitely getting bit a lot by mosquitoes, especially within the last few years, I've been getting bit more. But and surprisingly, I have been eating less sugar. But what I have also been doing is also eating less bitters, or consuming less bitters. So that's basically something you want to start doing again, especially if you're part of our movement, Black supremacy. Drink yourself some more bitters. Now be careful if you're going to take Cersei, because Cersei will probably cause you to have an abortion if you're pregnant. That's one thing you want to. That's one thing you want to be aware of, and it's no joke. You just need a few cups, and I've drank Cersei before, unbeknownstly, and nothing happened. But there are some experiences that people may have where maybe they might drink more Cersei than the one cup I had, and it will cause you to miscarriage. So you definitely don't want to drink Cersei if you're pregnant. I think hops is another bitter, but I don't really know much about hops or anything like that. But that's what they use to make beer. That I do know. But consume some more bitters, or you can consume peppermint. And I know a lot of people in the conscious community, or the health conscious community, Black health conscious community, whatever, might have a problem with peppermint. They might say that it doesn't have seeds and it is an unnatural herb or whatever. But you don't necessarily have to consume the peppermint. Now, I will say too that you might want to consume the peppermint tea, in place of consuming the Cersei or something like that. But the peppermint essential oil is a very, very powerful oil. Like I'm telling you, like you don't even really want to use too much, because not only will it bother the insects and force them and drive them away, it could also drive you away. Like it can burn your eyes just by using it in a diffuser, or if you use too much of it, right? So you definitely don't want to use too much of it, and like that just shows the power of the peppermint. And I remember a few years back, like there was a school, basically they were storing peppermint, and you can go and look this up. They were storing peppermint in a barrel, and it I think what had happened is like maybe I think the barrel had become empty, so it was just the vapor of the peppermint left in the barrel. And what happened is, I think a student went to go and open up the barrel. They were like in like science class or shop class or whatever. They went to open the barrel, and the gas from the barrel, the impact of it, when they opened the barrel, it killed that person. It killed that student instantly. I don't know if it was instantly, but it killed them. You can go and look that up. So that's like the power of peppermint. And it's like, definitely look into these essential oils, because you know these are sciences and technologies to help us to cope, to deal with being out in nature, to help us to cope with our natural environment. And if the gas and vapor can do something like that, you know, you talking about some serious weaponry right there against you know, insects, whatever. You know, it will drive these insects out, you know. So you can put a few drops of this into into a water bottle, and just spray that around the house to help get rid of spiders. You could also, if you got spiders, you could put some coconut oil. The coconut oil will dissolve their webs, so coconut oil and peppermint, that would help. If you're outside in nature and you're worried about spiders coming into your tent, or you want to sit down on the grass and stuff like that, you could either plant peppermint around your tent. And now, of course, you can plant peppermint, but it's not necessarily seeds. It's like spores, and you get it in a packet. So it's like you plant this, you put it in the dirt, whatever. And also, once this peppermint comes up, you can transplant it. Now, peppermint grows a lot. I haven't seen a lot of peppermint out here, but peppermint does grow a lot more like up north. So you can transplant peppermint. So what you would do, you cut it and you put it in water, and it will start to shoot out roots. Or if you even buy peppermint from the grocery store or the farmer's market or something, you know, you could do the same thing. Cut it and put it in some water, and basically leave it until it starts to shoot out roots. And then you could put that in the dirt, and then, you know, basically the peppermint will keep coming up. So every time you break a piece off of it, it will continue to grow and continue to grow. It really is a weed, and it will take over your garden. So if you have a vegetable garden that basically doesn't, or you have vegetables in the garden that don't get along with peppermint, you don't want the peppermint there, because you don't want it to rob the nutrients, and it will overtake your garden. Like, you can't, this thing is literally pretty much uncontrollable unless it runs into another plant that is a little more dominant than it. But I mean, if you know, and it's something you could drink in the mornings for clarity, and, you know, to basically wake you up a little bit. So definitely consider working with the peppermint if you're considering trying to be outside in nature and not necessarily get bit by these insects and stuff like that. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about too with the spiders. It's like, people are afraid of spiders, but really there's only like really two main spiders that you really want to concern yourself with, especially in most parts of America, and that is the brown recluse spider and the black widow spider. The black widow spider has like a red marking on its back, and the brown spider, the brown recluse, I guess, is brown and furry looking. You can go and research these things. I can't really remember what the brown recluse spider looks like, but regardless, it's like, they have us in fear, basically, of nature. They have us in fear. You know, they show us these cartoons and these movies and these commercials and these shows of people just being frantic out of their mind. You know, they do this with childbirth too. You know, they show us women just screaming at the top of their lungs, sinking their nails into their partner, talking about "I hate you," cursing all type of foul language and stuff like that at their partner and everybody in the room. When it's like, it does not have to be like that. It's all a psychological game they're playing on you. So when it comes to this being out in nature and this fear of insects and this arachnophobia that they are given to you, it's like, a lot of times when you get bit by a spider and you go to the hospital, there is nothing that they can do. They're going to give you an antibiotic. That's not a bacteria. A spider bite is not a bacteria. That is poison and venom, right? So there's other things you can do, and it's not necessarily you won't necessarily use the peppermint for that, but, you know, you have activated charcoal, you have clay, and, you know, if you're in Georgia, sometimes you could just use the clay from the earth. You can go dig up the clay right? And use that to suck the venom out. People are using bread to get the venom out of a spider bite. People are using potato, either cut potato or grated potato. If it's a brown recluse spider bite, you more than likely want to scrub the area and grate a potato and put it in like a thin piece of cloth where it will be able to cover the entire area. Because if you just cut one potato, you know, you're really only going to suck the venom out of that one little spot, and the spider bite can kind of spread and be big. So it's like, you know, we don't necessarily need to have this fair. Just learn a lot about, you know, home remedies, and self-care, and you know. So another thing you have is baking soda. You have baking soda. You can make a paste of baking soda. So basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to suck the venom from the spider bite out of your skin. And it's like, if you do get bit by, I think, a brown recluse spider, it will cause your skin to fall off if you don't treat it quick enough, fast enough. Because what it does is decaying the skin matter. So you will literally have chunks of your skin just falling off. And then you have the little black circle where you got bit, and you're pretty much waiting for that part to fall off. But you can prevent some of your skin from just completely just falling off your arm, which is going to leave a big old wound or ulcer, right? By being able to take care of this thing immediately and fast, and not panicking and not being paralyzed by fear, which is what they're trying to do. They're trying to fear you from living out here in your own area, right? In here in America, trying to run you off over into, you know, the middle of nowhere, where now you're dealing with real insects and animals that are probably more venomous and more virulent that you've never heard of, don't even know. Like, they have we got something, there's something in Jamaica called, what's this called? It's called like 50 legs or something like that, and it's like a centipede. That thing, once it sucks into your body, it's like, I think you gotta burn it off. It's like you can't just pull some of these stuff out. You know, you have to know some folk remedies to deal with these other type. And if you like, if your fear drives you somewhere else, if you run away from yourself and fear drives you over to some other country, and now you got to deal with some insects that you've never seen, and you don't have nobody that you can communicate with and you know, really get help, then you're in big trouble. So it's like, you gotta rule where you are and wherever you are, right? And do it like that. That's, you know, take baby steps if you have to. So it's like, spider bites, deal with it. Even snake bites. A lot of times snake bites, you can use activated charcoal again. And sometimes you have better results than if you went to the hospital. Because if you go to the hospital, a lot of times they're just talking about amputation. They're talking about cutting off your legs. And now you walking around with a phantom leg or a phantom limb. You know, because you weren't, you know, because you got your leg or your arm amputated, and, you know, you didn't know how to deal with something that you could have used by just some of these trees, or, you know, that have fallen, burning some of that into charcoal, and of course activating it with now that chemical or whatever you might have to get online, unless you know how to make it, but I can't remember what it's called. But that's what's called activated charcoal, because it's basically burnt wood that is activated by another chemical. But, you know, it's a lot of information, and it's like, a lot of times, you know, instead of just giving this information, people really need to get their minds right. Otherwise, they won't be able to take this information, which is why I don't necessarily focus on giving it that way unless you're really amongst us, you know. So that's basically something that I want to share with you, is basically get you some peppermint, you know, that will at least help to drive the insects away, which could at least help to minimize possibly getting bit by one of them, whether it's a spider, an ant, a tick, or a mosquito, right? So, you know, do that. Put it in a diffuser, put it in a spray bottle. And a diffuser is basically, I'll show you. This is a diffuser. So you got your candle in there. I'm trying to spill this on myself. And your oil is in there, right? And then you can also use this peppermint to make your own tooth powder. Again, you can make tea with the peppermint essential oil. Like, you can put some of this, a drop of this, in like already hot water, or or you could try pouring a drop of this into the cup and then pouring hot water, and you will have like instant peppermint tea. You don't gotta walk around with a pack of tea patches. This could be your peppermint tea. This could be your insect repellent. That's the word I was looking for earlier. This could be your tooth powder if you're gonna make your own toothpaste. You know, this could help you get rid of all type of other insects. If you got lice, they don't like this. And black people can get lice, so don't front. And a lot of other things. Help you with the insect bites, helps your hair to grow, right? So it's a lot of stuff. So if you want to see more videos like this, let me know, because I could really go in more specifically on these different essential oils. And of course, there's a lot more information that I could be giving, like, you know, based on what the note is, the spiritual properties of this stuff, some other healing properties, but I'll probably do that in some other videos. I basically just wanted to do this basically more geared towards it being an insect repellent and dealing with mosquitoes and spiders. So join the website kingnobleuncensored.com. That's where I will be posting information if I do post some more information about this. Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to King Noble's channel at Lord Yeshana, and donate and don't hate. Peace.